Now let's say that we want to start inserting data into our database or into our table. In those tables that are graphical, for example, in this mode, we could just click in here and enter ID 1 and then name anything that you want. For example, let's say Brad Pitt, and then email and password. In the MySQL, again, as I said, everything should be done using codes. So we just say insert into users, which is the name of our table, these values. So what are the values? Values are as following. We want so anything that we write in here would be respectively for these columns in here. The first one would be for ID, so we say 1. Then we get for the second one, which is for the name. So for example, we say Brad Pitt, and then we get to the email address. So let's say again Brad Pitt, for example, @gmail.com, which is not actually a real email. So this is the email address, and then we get to the password. So let's say Brad 112, 120, and also because we said varchar, they should be in the string format. Now we just hit enter, and now let's see that we want to see our table. If I just say describe users again, we just see these columns in here, but now what we are going to see is to retrieve this information, this data. If we want to retrieve data, we use another syntax called select. So we say select everything from users, and we just hit enter. Now as you see, we have our table. We have ID, name, email, password, and the data in the first row. We only have one row. So if you want to see all the table, like this thing in the PowerPoint or in Excel, you want to see your table, you just say select everything from your table, and everything will be shown to you, both the content and also the columns. Now let's say that you want to enter another row in here. So we just copy these ones, insert into users value. Now instead of 1, I just want to say null. Why? Because if you look at our table, for the ID we said it is auto increment. What it means is that it looks at the last value and increment that value. So null, second name, let's say MGH, which is my name, and mgh@gmail.com, and a password, let's say Khalil1. Now we hit enter. If you have a look again using the select everything from users, we hit enter, you see now we have 2 rows, and if you look, the ID has been incremented automatically. So now the syntaxes that you have been familiar with are for the working with data, are insert for inserting data, and select for retrieving or reading the data. Now let's say that we want to delete some data. Now for deleting, again we just say delete from users, which is the name of the table, where we want to define a condition where, for example, let's say name is equal to MGH. Now we hit enter, and if we look at the table, now this row has been deleted. What we said is that we want the row where the name is equal to MGH to be deleted. So in this row, the only column in the name column which is equal to MGH is the second row, so this row would be deleted. We could also do the conditions in other conditions. For example, we could say delete all the rows which has a number in their password. We could define any kind of conditions. Now let's say that we want to do the update. We would use other kind of or more syntaxes in MySQL when we get to the using the MySQL into our website and in the interaction of the programming language with the MySQL. But in here I just want to tell you about the update too. Let's say that the Brad Pitt in here has changed his email into something else, so we want to update this email. What we could say is to say update the name of the table, which is users, set email equal to, let's say brad@gmail.com, where ID is equal to 1. So what we have said is that I want the look at all the data in the database, look at the row with the ID of 1. Now change the email to this one in here, which is brad@gmail.com. We hit enter. As you see, 1 has been changed. We just select everything, and as you see, the email has been changed to, has been updated to this email in here.